They're celebrating Children's Day, Women's Day, National Girls' Day once in a year. Ensure our safety? Help us getting equal rights? Let's hear it all from a renowned lawyer, Ms. Nandita Rao. Nandita, could you please throw a light on basic children and women right, also the right to marry in our country?
Love jihad law, wherein you say that anyone who marries outside their religion or caste has to report to the state administration. Everyone, it is so-called anti-forced conversion law. So there are already laws in existence against forced conversion,
Right.
which means that, if somebody is poor, you can't offer them money to change their religion.
Yeah.
You can't say that, look, I'll educate your child, you change your religion, because that person is forcibly changing their religion. According to me, it hardly matters, because at the end of the day, who I'm praying, how I'm praying in my house, that I will only determine. But this law, which specifically distinguishes between people marrying within their religion and people marrying outside their religion, that if I marry outside my religion, I have to go and inform the state government. And then the state government will investigate whether it's from my free will or whether, I have been lured into this marriage by the man to sort of just to change my religion. So this is actually a violation of Article 14, because everyone who's getting married should be treated in the same way. If you harass people who are marrying outside the religion, people will say, like, better to just stick within our community. Then how are we Indian? If even for marriage, we start thinking that who is a Hindu, who is a Muslim, who is a Christian, who is a Dalit, then we are not Indian. Then we are Hindu, Muslim, Dalit, Christian, and that is not what we became independent to be. After 1947, we are all Indian. Before 1947, maybe we had different religions or whatever.
What if both husband and wife are following their respective religion? Then no conversion is happening, no?
Yeah, absolutely. A special marriage act can get married. But the problem in our society is that, see, society was conservative. That is why the government, when we became independent, brought Special Marriage Act. That, look, after 1947, we are no longer living under Raja Maharaja's rule. Raja has one religion and all the followers have to, so we are all citizens of a country, and the only law that applies to us is our constitution. It says that every religion is equal and everything. Now, but society was conservative. Mother and father would say that, oh, if you want to marry outside the religion, hum ghar se nikal denge. So government brought Special Marriage Act that, look, if you want to marry outside your religion, now unke system se na tumhare system se, tum under the law you marry. You had to give 1 month's notice. So now what happens? These social vigilantes who are doing honor killings and who are doing all these things, they hang around the district magistrate's office. And when a young couple goes and gives their affidavit that we want to get married, and their name is put up with their address, they go to their house and get their parents. Dekho, tumhari ladki shaadi kar rahi hai. They go to their house. They start saying, tumhare dusre ladki ki shaadi nahi hone denge. They provoke. Young couples are scared. So they run away to Arya Samaj Mandir or to a Maulvi, and they try to get married secretly because of this vigilantes. So the state must make Special Marriage Act simple, that come, show you are above 18, show that you are not under any force, get married on the same day and go off. Let me tell you, the High Court of Allahabad as well as the Delhi High Court is every day giving protection to 5 to 7 young couples who are married by their own free will. So young India is free India.
Wow, I love this statement. Young India is free India. I simply love it.
Most important right for every child under 14 is the right to education. So the only thing that you can transform your life with is education. That is the greatest social transformer, economic motivator. So I want everyone to know, if you are under 14 years old, it is your fundamental right, and the government is obliged to provide you education, be it in a government school. So you must exercise that right for your children or if you are a abandoned child, a runaway child, then you must try to approach a NGO, and you have a right to have education till the age of 14, free education at the state's expense. Now, secondly, as far as sexual abuse is concerned, I must tell everybody that till POXO Act was enforced, which is Prevention of Sexual Crimes Against Children, till this law came, yes, child abuse against male children was only a crime under 377 of the Indian Penal Code. All I want to tell all the young people is that under POXO, it is a gender neutral act. So whether you are a young boy or a young girl under 18, if anybody touches you inappropriately, forcibly has any kind of sexual intercourse with you, fingers you, or makes you do anything to them, it is a criminal offense. And whether you are a boy or a girl, you have a right to go to the police station and make a complaint, even if it is your mama, chacha, papa, mummy. Even women can be criminals under that. If you are being used for any sexual services, or by your family members, you can go to the police station and they will put you in a special care home and they will fight the case for you.
What is the reason of increase in brutal rape case in our country? See, one is rape and left, but now it has become really bad. Like the way they rape is so brutal that it makes you, your soul gets shaken up.
So, Preeti, I think there are three things that I can diagnose. One is, with the availability of telephone and internet in every nook and cranny of India and in every income group, the spread of pornography has become omnipresent, and reality porn. So we have a conservative society where your parents, you have never even seen them holding hands. When you go to the park or somewhere, you are always told ho, chi, thu, because our society has hollow values. That if a child is beating up another child, we will say, "Bahut acha kiya beta." But if a child is, tenderly kissing at the appropriate age or holding hands, we'll say, ho, ji, chi, gandi baat, and, especially if it's a girl. And we'll encourage a boy, अरे तू तो लड़का है, disrespect women, इसकी तो 6 girlfriend है जी, एक को घुमाता है सुबह दूसरे को. So we are encouraging men that if you are insensitive, if you are brutal, if you disrespect women, it is a good thing. And secondly, they are only exposed to sex through pornography. And pornography is normally very violent, very animalistic, and very horrible. So the Indian youth is thinking that sex has to be violent. You have to slap someone, you have to chain someone, you have to insert an object. So that is one part of it, that there is no healthy culture of sex. Then our law has made it illegal to have sex under 18. So you are a criminal as it is. Then thirdly, this is my personal opinion, that in the last 5 to 10 years, violence, be it lynching, be it, abusing, be it police violence, it has been condoned by the highest authorities in the country. So now people feel that violence is the right way. If somebody says no to you, if somebody doesn't eat what you want, if somebody doesn't behave the way you like, if a girl says no to you, or if a girl belongs to a community or a family which you want to suppress, then it is okay to be violent. Somewhere the message has gone down that we can take the law into our own hands. The law has become soft. So अगर कुछ गलत हो रहा है मेरे हिसाब से, I don't have to go to the police station. I can just rape the girl. I can just lynch the man. I can just set fire to somebody's house. So somewhere this vigilante justice has been justified. Now the real danger lies is when there will be a backlash. Now the people like women who are being raped are still going to police stations. People who are being lynched are still having faith in the judicial system. The day they stop having faith and their fathers and brothers start taking revenge, then we will have a lawless society. So therefore, this program that you are doing, and we lawyers are also taking an initiative to strengthen the legal system. And so, police people have to stop justifying crime. However justified your anger may be, you cannot take the law into your own hands. You can't say मेरी बेटी को उसने शादी कर ली, so I will murder him. No, you can't do that. I mean, look at this Hathras family. What a heinous offense against their daughter. But they had faith in the judicial system. And the judicial system has come through for them. Similarly with Unnao. First the girl was raped, then her father was murdered. But the victim's family never lost faith in the judicial system. So somewhere I think that the police force in the country has become very politicized. And the Indian Police Service, IPS officers, have to now respect their uniform. They have to answer only to the Constitution of India and not to any kind of political master.
And I really want to know that these culprits, why are they not scared of punishment? Can't we really give an example in a way that they should get scared before even attempting something like this?
There is no dar, because they are watching that openly people who are committing crimes on the weaker sections of society are going scot-free. So though, death penalty has come now, especially for sexual offenses against minors, it is having the contrary effect. First, people would rape the victim and leave her. Now it's rape and murder. But you are right that the nature of rape is becoming very heinous. And there is an increase in gang rape. We are becoming wolves and jackals from human beings. There is so much frustration in society. There is so much anger in society. And somewhere there is no fear of the law. People feel if I pick on someone who's weaker, somebody who is poor, somebody who comes from a suppressed section of society, I will get away with it. So they think, only if it is an upper middle class girl, then there will be a candlelight march in India Gate. If it is a village girl from a suppressed community, then, I will get protection. So somewhere you are absolutely right. The nature of the rape is becoming very, very vindictive and inhuman. The gang rapes are coming in, which means these are not crimes of lust. It is not that, you found a woman very attractive and you were not able to control yourself or whatever. But these are crimes of power. Noch lenge, खींच लेंगे, मार देंगे.
Why does it take so long to punish the culprit? वो process इतना लंबा हो जाता है कि उस process में people get disheartened. कई बार तो वो केस वापस ले लेते हैं because you get so much of mental pressure from family, society, and I feel that culprit also start getting some hope कि अब तो time चला गया, 1 साल 2 साल, वो he or she start feeling कि अब तो बच ही जाएंगे, कहीं ना कहीं से इतना time हो गया है. हमारा जो judiciary है, वो why does it take so long to punish the culprit? Can't we set an example of giving them a brutal death?
See, Preeti, that would be the worst thing possible. When the law and order machinery starts behaving like a ante or a gunda, we call this gunda justice. कि you want to clear a house, tenant नहीं निकल रहा है, घर में घुसो, bash him up, kick him out. Of course, tenant is wrong. उसको चले जाना चाहिए if landlord is saying. But the point is that when you have gunda justice, then it becomes very difficult to distinguish between where gunda justice is fair and where it is unfair. Suppose somebody has been accused that he committed this rape, but through the legal process, it gets proved that actually when he was accused of this offense, he was not even in that city. But if we have instant justice, the whole crowd will say, hang him, hang him, hang him. He gets hung. So your society becomes more violent. Oh, this woman, she has had a marriage of her own choice. Let us punish her, rape her, like Pullan Devi. What was that? When Pullan Devi was gang raped, that was vigilante justice. That isne Thakur mare hain. We'll show her. So the law has to, even if the law is slow, it is just. So people have to, all sections of society, wherever we promote vigilante justice, we will find that illegalities on common people will increase. Because vigilante justice kaun karega? You and I can't do it. Suppose we know this man has raped me. He can only rape me because I'm powerless. So I will be in no position to hang him. But he will be in a position to defame me, to character assassinate me, and pata chale that I'm being burnt by the society. In instant justice is panchayati justice, na? लड़की का मुंह काला कर दो, इसकी शादी करा दो rapist से. That is instant justice. So certainly, yes, under POCSO, there are special courts which have been made. There are special evidence boxes with one-way glass, and the law is trying to become little faster. But there is no political will. See, our sanctioned strength for judiciary, it was sanctioned in 1947. Today, our population has increased tenfold, but the number of judges is the same or less. So we must increase the judges 100 times, spend money on judiciary so that they only have 5-6 cases and they can do the trial in 1 year, and they can, whatever they might want to do, hang the person, give him life imprisonment. You know what I mean? We must strengthen our judiciary.
What parents should keep in mind while raising both gender children? तो वो कहते हैं ना कि जो बोगे वही उगेगा.
So I feel that, this would apply to both the parents, because suppose the mother has spent the whole day with the children telling them a man and a woman is equal, and scolding the son or giving them even the same amount of food. But see, it is not just what we tell children, but what they watch and what they hear. So when the father comes home and he's beating the mother, or the mother is, sacrificing her food and feeding the father, they are watching that. So the mother may be telling the son that you have to be a better man, but he's also learning from what he's watching in the house and what he's seeing other members of the family doing. He's seeing that the mother may be saying the right thing, but baap ki chalti hai. So all members of the family have to be very conscious that what kind of a next generation do we want to bring up. So men who beat up their parents, they should remember that tomorrow when I become old, my son will also beat me up, because this is what he has seen. You may tell him, Papa ke pair chuo, but when he sees that you are ill-treating the grandfather, then he is learning that. He's a sponge. So I personally feel what mothers can do is, officially or unofficially, secretly or openly, they must back their daughters. The whole society, like I was always very outgoing and I had a lot of male and female friends. So my neighbors used to tell my grandmother, ki, enu te mundai milan ande. So my grandmother used to say, ki, tuannu ki onda hai? Why are you getting so jealous about it? Why are you so irritated? Jo bhi milne aata hai, hamare ghar aata hai. So that made me feel that I am not doing anything wrong. These are healthy friendships. I never felt the need to go and hide at a bus stop and meet a friend, because they were all welcome to the house. So you must, and let me tell you one thing about society. If you stand up to society and tomorrow your daughter is a success, everyone will come and say that, we want our daughter to be like you. So nothing succeeds like success, and a girl just needs a mother and a father to back her. As long as a parent is supporting the girl, as long as she's doing on the right path, education and career have to be your priority. So if somebody says call center में काम कर रही है, रात को जाती है, पता नहीं कहाँ जाती है, you should not stop her from working in a call center. Because tomorrow, if she does well, she rises, she becomes a manager, she will bring you the pride. And then everybody in the neighborhood will say, you be like her. Instead, you stop her from working, you get her married into a house where they are demanding dowry, they beat her up and she comes back to the house as, feeling like a liability. But end of the day, that same society which would not let her work in the call center because it was at night will not stand by you when she's getting divorced and when she's getting beaten. They'll say, जी इनका अपना मामला है, इनका घरेलू मामला है. तो मेरी जॉब मेरा घरेलू मामला नहीं है, वो पूरी कॉलोनी का मामला है. लेकिन जब मैं पिट रही हूँ, मैं जल रही हूँ, वो मेरा घरेलू मामला है. So care a damn about society. If your son is doing the wrong thing, check him. Because tomorrow he will do it to you. He will kick his mother, he will kick his father out, he will start gambling. So don't condone misbehavior from a boy, and encourage and support your girl to be economically independent. Because the best friend of any woman in a patriarchal society is economic independence. उसके ससुराल में भी उसकी इज्जत होगी. So that is my one point mantra. Make your girls economically independent. चाहे झाड़ू पोंछे का काम हो, चाहे कॉल सेंटर का काम हो, चाहे टीचिंग का काम हो, चाहे लॉयर का काम हो, जितना आप पढ़ा सकते हो, maybe in a government school. Maybe you put your son in a private school, but let the girl go to a government school. Don't cut short her education.
So Nandita, this is a question from my acquaintance. This girl experienced a very horrifying incident where mother comes and says that तुम मेरे बेटे से जलती हो, just because she asked her share in a parental property, in her father's property. So I really want to know the status of girl acquiring inheritance property which belongs to her father.
So basically now, after 2005, in all ancestral property, or what you call HUF property, Hindu undivided family property. See, in India, we have, for inheritance and marriage, we follow personal law, which means the law of the religion in which you're born. So in Sharia law for Muslims, women always had a right in property. Muslim women always had a right in their parental property, maybe a lesser share, but they always had a right. As far as Christians are concerned, they always had an equal right because they don't have ancestral or HUF property. They only have self-acquired property. Now, as far as Hindus are concerned, only the son had a right in property, which was Hindu undivided family, which means joint family property. Suppose my father is a government employee and from his own money or loan, he purchases a property. Then nobody has a right in that property. It is his free will. He can give it to his daughter by will. He can give it to his son. He can give it to the neighbor. He can give it to a charity. So, but in the ancestral property, like the Dadaji ki property, jo bina will ke aati hai. So in that, before 2005, only boys had a right, because it was the duty of the sons to look after the old parent from his income. The old parents lived with the son, and the girl used to get whatever her share in jewelry and dowry and all. So now the dowry system we have frowned upon. Also that dowry goes away to the in-laws. They वो खा जाते हैं, तो लड़की बिल्कुल रह जाती है without any money or resource. So now after 2005, the daughter has an equal right to the son, but families don't want to give it. Somewhere in our society, the daughter-in-laws feel that, look, I am looking after my saas ससुर, और मेरी जो मतलब सिस्टर इन लॉ है वो दूसरे घर में रहती है, ये बीमार होते हैं, इनकी चिक चिक सुनना, इनको खाना देना, I am doing it. And then she just comes and demands her right and takes it and goes away. You understand my point? Society is still patriarchal, but the right has become equal. What people have to understand is that your daughter is also someone's daughter-in-law. So that daughter-in-law will, when I start getting from my father's family, then I will not have to dance to the tunes of my in-laws. I will also become more powerful in my family. I can look after my parents. See, today, if you have two girls and your parents are ill, no husband wants to look after them. If I'm getting a share in the property of my father, I can say, look, my father has given me inheritance. So I have to look after them also. So society will also change. But as of now, the mentality of people is that sirf bete ko milna chahiye. There is an equal right today, but there are some societal problems that we have to slowly change. Women have to start taking responsibility also. You know, women, see what happens that if a woman is earning and working, she says that, look, my money is my money, but my husband should maintain me. Then obviously the husband will not respect your job.
Right.
Because he'll say, ki, bhai, since I'm maintaining you, if there's any work at home, aap chutti lo. So with every right comes a responsibility.
Nandita, what if the father of a family dies and have left no will? So in that case, how the property gets divided? Suppose a father had 3 children, 2 daughters, and 1 son. So do they get equally divided among children and wife? And also, if suppose a girl wants to give her share to a brother or a mother, does the girl needs to be physically present at government offices where they need to sign and the photo needs to get attested, or it could be just simply done on papers that mother or brother can come and get the signatures and present those signatures in a government office?
Earlier, they used to just do it, you could just make a relinquishment deed on a stamp paper. But now you have to get it registered, and in the registration, your photograph is taken. So after 2005, they have become very strict. पहले ये सब होता था, sisters did not realize, उनसे NOC ले लिया, all these things. But now you can challenge that. You can say that it is not true. And you can go to court. Now you have to, it is a relinquishment deed is like a sale deed. You have to relinquish your right in favor of your brother in the registrar, property registrar's office, and your photograph is taken in the office. Your signatures are put in the register in the office. So it cannot be done without your physical presence.
There are many cases where forcefully or false verbal commitments are made just to get signatures and to get the share of the property. And surprisingly, the share of that individual property is being transferred without individual being present at government offices. So how to deal about it? Can you challenge it?
This is just corruption. In many cases, the sons even declare that there are only 2 brothers. And if there are 3 sisters, they just don't even declare them as the sisters. Because we are a badly documented society. So many times there is no ration card. So death certificate में वो सिर्फ भाइयों का नाम लिखवा देते हैं. They just erase. Sisters की शादी हो गई है 20-30 years ago. So only later when the sisters find out कि अच्छा पापा का घर भाई के नाम में हो गया है, then they go to the registry and they discover कि भाई we didn't exist. हमें तो मार ही दिया मतलब. So these type of techniques are adopted. So you can challenge that. This is just blatant corruption. There's one more thing, Preeti. The tragedy of women's rights litigation is you are fighting against the people you love. You're fighting against your husband. You're fighting against your brother. You're fighting against your mother. जो आपके हर लड़ाई में support system होते हैं, जिनको आप प्यार करते हो. Your biggest Achilles heel is your own emotions. You know कि ये मेरा हक है, लेकिन भाई बात करना बंद कर देगा. तो you say चलो यार, प्रॉपर्टी के पीछे भैया को क्या छोड़ना. But women have to be strong one day or the other. See, when that same brother who wants to deprive his sister of a right will want to give his own daughter the right. Sometimes women's rights litigation is very painful. I have done this field of law for 22 years. And as a lawyer also, it is very difficult. because you are the sole support system of the client. They are fighting with their own family. You are fighting with your husband, who you have depended on for everything, to get maintenance, to get school fees of for your children. So many of the litigants, I used to pick them up from the bus stop and take them to court, because they said that we don't even know how to go and get an auto. These things the stakeholders have to understand in the system. The system has to have empathy for women. Families have to have empathy. Mothers have to have a bigger heart. It is not all favoritism. It is also economic compulsion. Now you see a working woman, like a mother who's a government servant, and the property is in her own name. She may not favor the son, because she gets her pension. She
Yes.
knows the beta and the bahu are under her thumb. Mummy ji ghar chalati hai. So end of the day, money is the
Security of each woman, absolutely. And also, it makes you feel good. It makes you believe in yourself. So my last question, Nandita, that why does legal matters and litigation take so long that in this process many people get disheartened, take a step back, and we cannot deny that all this require a fund. So because of fund crisis and emotional harassment and mental pressure, people withdraw or people take a step back. So in that case, if someone does not have enough fund, so it means that person should just take a step back and sit.
yes, litigation is expensive. Yes, it is time consuming, but we have a robust legal aid system. Every district court has a legal services authority. The moment you enter the court complex, uske boards lage hue hain. So please don't lose hope. Don't think you have to go to a family friend lawyer and take a favor from them. You simply go to the district court in the area jahan pe aap rehte ho. There are 5 district courts in Delhi, Saket, Kadkaduma, Patiala House, Tees Hazari, Rohini, and Dwarka. So whichever district you live in, you just go to the court complex. वहां पे board लगा होगा legal services authority. You go over there and they will give you absolutely free of cost lawyer. And please don't think legal aid lawyers are bad. I myself have been a legal aid lawyer. Today I have become a well-known lawyer because of serving on legal aid. For 6 years, I served on legal services authority. So a lot of the legal aid lawyers are also committed to justice. So don't feel that if it's a free lawyer, it will be a bad lawyer. No. And you can always take a second opinion. So please don't give up on your fight because of money. Go to legal services authority.
Thank you so much, Nandita, for coming on my show and inspiring me and many other people. It was simply lovely having you on my show. Thank you, Nandita, and you take care.
Thank you, Preeti.